The Athene Real Talk Podcast explores controversial ideas to stimulate debate and active thinking. These ideas do not always reflect Athene's personal views. Welcome to the Athene Real Talk Podcast.
He has been called the best gamer in the world, hands down.
World-famous gamer and philanthropist Athene.
Gaming for Good, it's called, has raised more than $20 million.
Using his notoriety to raise money for charity.
On activism, science, culture, and self-development.
Proud to have him in the studio today. I would not want to take you on in a video game.
The reason why I'm making this real talk is it's a very important one, because it will explain you why you should come over, why you shouldn't come over. And it's basically the conversation I've had when people were here. I'm gonna have it right now with you guys. It's very important to be honest, because obviously if you lie because you're scared or you try to pretend or bullshit, then there's not so much I can do. And if I figure that out, I end up most of the time kicking people out for that shit. So people have to be honest. As long as they're honest, there's nothing that can go wrong. Actually, literally nothing can go wrong if you're truly honest. And in order to help people, I guide them through it, because by guiding you through it, you will get a lot of understanding why I ain't kicking people out. People kick themselves out. I start the conversation with a question. What do you gravitate towards the most? That your life is about you, or that your life is about others? And it's intuitively, your gut feeling, right? Not so much like, oh yeah, reasoning, this and that. Just intuitively, what is it that you gravitate towards? And actually, everybody I talked to was themselves. The people that have been working out here are more gravitating towards others, even though it's not about others. It's more about life. But hey, it's just an easy question to see where people are calibrated towards. Because if you're selfless, obviously you cater more to others, because others are more than just you. That's why it's a very easy question to pinpoint it. And then I ask, okay, when you say like, I gravitate more towards me, like if life is about you, then can anyone unconditionally love you? Like, of course not. If everyone is selfish and it's about them, they cannot just do anything for someone else without getting anything in return. It just doesn't work like that. And that's fine. I mean, like, I'm even fine with people saying that stuff. Then I ask, okay, so what about your parents? I mean, taking care of you is quite a big of a struggle, you know, like it requires quite a lot of sacrifices for your parents to take care of you. It's not like a baby you give anything in return. And they say like, yeah, they unconditionally love me, yeah. So that applies to their parents as well, right? And their parents as well. And basically, every single person on the planet, the reason why you exist is because you got unconditionally taken care of. It's not like you're being bred by some slave owner to then start working for them. So you know that life is not about you, because if life was just about you, then you wouldn't even be able to exist. And people understand that. It's like, yeah, I understand. Life ain't about me. I get it. Life is more than me. I get it. Then what I do, I ask them the question like, why should I care about you? Why should I even do all this? Why should I keep this place and all that shit? If for me it's easier to just take care of myself. And depending on person from person, some people say like, because they have better understanding because it's the right thing to do, obviously. But there's other people that really try to say like, oh, maybe because you feel better, and I debunk everything they say. Because honestly, it's easier for me to just take care about myself. It's really easier. I mean, I'm taking all the problems in the world on my shoulders. If I have to choose between carrying my own problems or carrying all the world's problems, carrying my own problems is much easier, definitely in my situation, because I'm famous, I can make easy money. So taking care of my own problem is much easier than taking care of everyone else's problem. So then certain people don't even understand. They say like, yeah, I don't understand why you do this. And I just explain like, if you don't understand it, I'll give another example. World War II, 75 years ago. The Jews were the scum, according to Nazis, right? That's what they said. And basically, if you would point out a Jew to the SS, you would get a lot of benefits. You would get food, you would be able to ask a favor, you would get maybe hot water, maybe one of their houses. It's quite fucking crazy, but that's how it worked. On the other hand, if you don't do it, then you end up being more hungry, having less good experience. And if you hide them, you have the chance to get caught and get executed. So obviously the last option, I say, okay, that's fine, let's remove the last option. But now you're still left with the two other options. One is you point them out, and one is you don't. If life is about you, why wouldn't you point them out and send them to the gas chambers? I asked them all. Some people said like, I would feel bad. I go like, okay, you're in the middle of the war. You see people lying down dead all over the place. You get desensitized. So you don't feel bad doing it. They all said they would do it. If the people around them said it's fine, they would do it. And I'm glad they're honest about it, because it's true. They would do it. And that's exactly why World War II happened in the first place. 6 million Jews died because of it. I mean, it's not like, oh, it was a disease or a certain state. No, it's in ourselves, humans. If we make it about us, we are capable of doing really, really cruel things to others because we only focus on ourselves. So you just all said it. And still, honestly, I'm not judging them, but they all understood that it's wrong to do it. And I'm then asking, okay, so do you have the choice? Or is it because you had a bad childhood? No, is it like, no, it's my choice. Like I just choose. I make it about me and I just choose them to send the gas here because it's easier. It's just a choice. But then I say like, okay, what about choosing right now about making it about yourself? And of course they can say like, yeah, it's not as bad as killing Jews. Me choosing right now to make life about myself is not sending Jews to the gas chamber. It's incomparable. But the thing is that the case? Because if you could teleport back in time to World War II and you would just be a civilian and you would try to make a living pointing out Jews, you would actually have a hard time to compete. Actually, you wouldn't be able to compete with the amount of people you could kill compared to the amount of people you could save right now from behind your PC if you would choose to not make it about you. There's not so much difference. These people in World War II are causing less casualties than people here. And I've already talked about that in the past. And I was really mind blown that that could even happen. And when I said, if I say it, people will certainly like. People still not care. It's all about them. So why care? But it's a choice to make it about you. And then even then you can say like, okay, I don't know if it is a choice. It's not as easy to say like life is about me. It's more conditioning and this and that. I say like, listen, if someone comes inside this building, right, and is insecure, is it your problem? Why? No. Okay, if you're insecure, is it your problem? So like, yeah. Do you guys know that for me it's the other way around? When someone comes inside this building and is insecure, I see it immediately as my problem. But if I'm insecure, I don't care so much. Because I don't make it about me. It's a choice. I choose to care about them just as much as I choose to care about you guys right now watching this stream. For me, it's much easier to not care about you guys at all. I choose to do so. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. It's a choice. That's it. So when you boil down the problems of the entire selfish world, or just the problem of being selfish to just a choice, and when it's just undeniably clear, you gotta be honest to yourself. Okay, fine, I'll live a selfish life. Or I'll be honest to myself and stop making it about myself. And the way it works is as following. If you stop making it about yourself, then what happens is you choose whenever certain stimuli happen. Because constantly when you're going through life, you are flooded by information and stimuli all the time. If you stop making about yourself, you choose to not amplify the thoughts and the emotions that involve you. So like, if you want candy, you don't go like, I want candy, make it louder, louder until your entire head is bonking about it because you just let it pass. When you see someone else that you can help, you start valuing that and you enhance that. It's really like a radio tuning into frequencies. Your choice is the ability to choose which frequencies you tune into. Very similar to how neurons work in the brain. By deciding what to value, by choosing not to make it about yourself, suddenly all these problems that keep you busy and that are enhanced all the time, you stop doing it because you know it ain't important. It becomes more quiet and more quiet and more quiet. And when these thoughts pop up or these emotions pop up, you choose not to identify with them. You just choose like, sorry, it ain't about me. And that's it. It has really a serious impact on the way you go about life. And the thing is like, when you do that, you become more pure. More like you were when you were a kid. So I really like to be able to boil everything down really to this simple choice where you might make it about yourself or you don't make it about yourself, because it makes things very clear. If you choose not to make it about yourself, you are welcome here immediately. You can come over here, you can work with like-minded people that actually truly care, that have pure intentions. On the other hand, if you make it about yourself, then you understand that being in this environment doesn't work, because if I would make it about myself, I wouldn't start it. And that's what I tell to the people. I say like, you understand that if I was selfish, this place wouldn't exist, and they understand it. And they understand that it's not compatible. The only way they can make it compatible is try to bullshit me. That's what some people do. But if you understand it, yeah, like I'm a selfish guy, I don't belong here, you leave yourself. It's your choice. It's your choice to leave. It's your choice to make it about yourself. Because you know they are not compatible. You know that you can't be here and selfish because this place doesn't work like that. And it's funny that everybody that left, people even say like, yes, sorry, I'm a selfish guy. This place ain't for me. I thought I could just have some nice lentils and shit, some nice comfy, whatever, learn some stuff. But if life ain't about me, I'd rather keep lying to myself. It's easier. So yeah, people that make life about themselves don't even consider applying. It's just a waste of time. People that choose to not make it about themselves, you guys are all welcome. Where does this come from? This choice of making it about yourself or not making it about yourself. Why is one inclined to more choose to make it about themselves, and why is someone more inclined to not choose to make it about themselves? And it has to do with the mindset, the way you look at the world. If you make it about yourself, your selfishness can only survive when it feeds on the injustice around you. The moment you start seeing the good around you, you start questioning your selfishness. What do? You cancel it out. You only tune into all the shit that happens in the world. That's why when someone tries to have some hope or whatever, you even experience dissonance. You want to put it down. Even me, when I talk about doing good, they say, Athene, you're a scammer. You're doing it for yourself. You're filling your pockets. It's their way to cope with their own selfishness. Even if they know on a certain level that they're full of shit, it doesn't matter. It's the way they cope. On the other hand, if you're more selfless, you tune into the good. Of course, you can't be naive. You have to be really careful with people that are very selfish, because people selfish only take, it never ends. So you got to be really pragmatic and know what you can trust. People that are selfish, you can't trust them. They're just busy with themselves all the time, and it's never enough. Although they can understand and get out of it. A lot of people here used to be very big selfish assholes, and they got out of it. You can change. You can choose to change, But I'm going a step further in explaining it. There's actually quite a lot of psychology about it, and it's called the scarcity mindset and the abundance mindset. And basically the difference between the two is scarcity mindset is basically constantly being in this feedback loop of wanting more and more and thinking you don't have enough. While abundance mindset is you see the world and you enjoy what you have. It's literally the difference between taking everything for granted or being grateful for what you have. It's two different mindsets. When you make it about yourself, you take everything for granted. When you don't make it about yourself, you're grateful for everything you have. And you already see how one mindset literally cannibalizes on your own existence, on your own consciousness and experience. It tears it apart. It will never be enough. You always want more and more. On the other hand, if you have a mindset of abundance, you just are happy with what you have. You don't mind giving forever. I just find it very fascinating, how it all works, and to expose it so concretely, where it's about a choice. Another thing that can maybe help some people is to realize that when you make life about you, everything you do is defined by it. When you speak, when you watch the stream, what you do, everything, every single action is because it's about you. On the other hand, when you don't make it about you, then every single action ain't about you. It comes from a more pure place. And sometimes it's really hard and crazy to realize that you make everything about yourself, because you have all these coping mechanisms to cope with your own selfishness that you implement, like, I'm actually not such a bad person. I donate some to charity. But when you think about it, you just did it for yourself anyway. Just bullshitting. Just lying to yourself to make yourself feel better, or for the eyes of others, or whatever. I had some talks with people and they were wondering so I do this, so I do that for selfish reasons. And it's really quite a revelation to understand it, because you really feel like, man, I'm quite a pretty fucking bad person. Depending on how you grew up, of course, a good way to see it is when it comes down to caring, right? If you replace you with your mother, if you'd be doing something similar. Of course, if you had a really shitty mother, then that example doesn't work so well. But if you had a great mother, it's very easy to understand what unconditional love is, what unconditional giving is, what selfless is. It's just good to have these thoughts and to think about it and to reflect on it, because I'm telling you, choosing to make life about you is the cornerstone problem, not only of you, but of the world. Is it possible to live for yourself and for others simultaneously? Nope. If you make life about you, then it's just about you. If you make life not about you, then you go about things in a much more pure way. It brings about a sense of responsibility, pureness, which also takes care of you, but not because you make it about you, just because it's natural consequence. But no, you can't be selfish and not selfish at the same time. You're either selfish or you're not selfish. If you're not selfish, then obviously you're also automatically responsible towards yourself, but not for selfish reasons. When we get children and seeing growing them up, they become a part from us from the beginning, and if you're dead, there is a part from you. Keep living with them. No, man. Being selfish is doing things because you want to do it for yourself, while the opposite is choosing to do things not for yourself. There's people that died hiding Jews 75 years ago. You're the kind of person saying they did it for themselves, because if they wouldn't have done it, they wouldn't have been able to live with themselves. No, that's not true. They did it because it was right. I choose to care. I have a very easy time to not care about you whatsoever if I want to. I have the choice to not talk to this stream. I could squeeze you guys for $500 an hour if I want to. Why am I putting all this time? I choose to. Don't lie to yourself, man. How do I exercise this mindset in my everyday life? You just, on a fundamental level, just choose to not make it about you anymore. And as a result, whenever there is a thought or whatever, when it's selfish, you won't enhance it. Let me give you an example. If I would tell you, the next time you hear a bird, it will be sitting on a chest filled with gold. I mean, when you're just walking around life, you won't really be focusing on it. But the moment you hear a bird, you will immediately go with your full attention looking for it. Even though before, the sounds of birds were not even absorbed. And it's because you value that sound. Now, if you value yourself, because you make life about yourself, then whenever there is a thought that pops up that is about you, you enhance it. Just like you enhance the sound of the bird. It's that simple. And even when it's small, when it's like, oh yeah, like how did this guy look at me, or this or that, it's all about you all the time. And that's why you're literally trapped inside your own prison, amplifying all these ideas, all these thoughts. Well, if you don't make it about you, then you don't even think so much about these things anymore. They pop up, they can come up, but you don't let them shape you. You don't enhance them. You just let them come and go.
Subscribe to youtube.com/AtheneWins. Watch the live stream at twitch.tv/AtheneLive and follow The Real Athene on Snapchat.